Learning Coaches. This is Mrs. Beatty, and I'm going to do a video kind of explaining how I set up my students' daily plan. So before I go and log off each night, and actually I do mine in the evening. So in the evening, when I'm setting up the day for my daughter the next day, what I will first do is the most important thing, which is to look at her calendar. So I pull up her Google Calendar and I see what sessions does she have on her calendar. So tomorrow she has a noon session of NWEA, and then there's this relationship manager session that she could go to if she'd like. So I write this down for her. I find that she does better when it's just wrote down instead of just going on her own. So I have a notebook that I write it down. So at the top, I put down Wednesday, and then the first thing I put is her actually scheduled session, so her 12 p.m. session, so that she knows tomorrow when she goes to log in and get her work done that the first thing she needs to make sure she pays attention to is that noon time, and she shows up for her session. The next thing that I do is I tell her she needs to check her email. So on her paper, I have down her session, and then I tell her check her email because it's really important every day that you're clicking on your email and checking your Uplift Academy email. The next thing that I do is I go into her calendar, and my preference is to work ahead a little bit. So you'll see that she's already done a few things. And like my last video, I had said sometimes when you do a lesson, you're actually doing the assignment as well. So you might as well turn in the assignment. So I go to her plan, and tomorrow's Wednesday. So I'm going to write down the things that she needs to absolutely do tomorrow. For her art class, she needs to complete this assignment. For her social studies class, she needs to complete the discussion. She did these two assignments already. You can see the checks next to them, they're completed. But that only gives her 3 lessons, and really I want to give her a couple of more. So like I had said before, if she's going to start with this lesson, Still Life with Texture Tones, the next day is the assignment. So she's probably going to be completing the assignment within the lesson. So I'm actually going to have her just turn in the assignment, and that's the way it's done. I like to work a little bit ahead. That way, if she's having an off day, she's not feeling well, or a lesson is particularly tough, she's not falling behind. So on days like today, when she only had 1 lesson to do and her NWEA, I'm going to change things around. Now, yours might not be the same. It might be a little different, but just how her courses landed, that's what it looked like to her. So I'm going to write these down for her on her list. I'm going to give her, it looks like tomorrow she has 5 lessons that she's going to be completing. And then the last thing that I do is I want to take a look at her feedback. So I'm going to go to the activity stream. I'm going to check her feedback to see if she needs to improve on anything. It looks like she's getting some pretty good grades. But then I also want to look at her courses because sometimes it gets a little bit lost. Like if I look at her grades, she's doing really well. And then if I see that she's got this lower percentage, I might click on that and see what is she missing there. And so you can click on the course and then go to grades, and you'll be able to see your student's grade. And I noticed that she's got this 11% here for this assignment, and it looks like this teacher has allowed her to do a redo. And then for this one, it looks like it's just late. If you ever see a 0% on your student's assignment, it is considered late. It's a late assignment, so that just means they need to complete it. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to write down then, if she's already done with her daily lessons, I'm going to write down that we need to take a look at these 2 assignments of what can we do. She might not get all 5 assignments done tomorrow because she has NWEA, but at least I know that she's working towards getting them done and possibly moving ahead, so if she does have that off day. So that's how I set up my student. I do this every night before I go to bed so that when she wakes up tomorrow, she has her plan in front of her and she can be a little bit more independent so that I can work. If you have questions or have any tips and tricks you'd like to share with us, please let me know. We'd love to hear them.